The price of poverty. Paying more for less. In South Africa, life has a cruel irony. The less money you have, the more you pay for basic services. This is the harsh reality for millions. It's a system rigged against the poor. It's a system that needs to change. Take a walk through any township in South Africa. Look at the prices. Compare them to the prices in affluent suburbs. You'll see the disparity. It's in the cost of bread, it's in the cost of transport, and it's definitely in the cost of mobile data. This isn't about convenience. This is about survival. In a country with high unemployment and limited social safety nets, access to affordable communication is critical. But for many South Africans, staying connected is a luxury they can barely afford. It's time to call out this injustice. It's time to demand better. Data robbery, the pensioners' digital tax. Pensioners in South Africa are facing a new kind of crisis. It's a silent crisis. It's a digital crisis. In a world where staying connected is more important than ever, they are being left behind. The digital divide is growing, and it's hitting the elderly the hardest. It's the crisis of data affordability. The cost of mobile data in South Africa is among the highest in the world. For many elderly people, this is an insurmountable barrier. They are forced to choose between basic necessities and staying connected. Imagine working your whole life, contributing to society. You've paid your taxes, raised your children, and now, in your golden years, you should be enjoying the fruits of your labor. But instead of peace and relaxation, you are faced with a new kind of stress. You retire, hoping for some peace and quiet. You dream of spending time with your grandchildren, reading books, and enjoying the simple pleasures of life. But the reality is far from this idyllic picture. Instead, you're hit with another bill, a bill that you didn't anticipate, a bill that feels like a punishment for wanting to stay connected with the world. This is the reality for many pensioners in South Africa. A bill that feels like a punishment, a bill that eats into your already limited pension. It's not just a financial burden, it's an emotional one too. The feeling of being exploited, of being taken advantage of, is overwhelming. A bill for staying connected, a bill for maintaining relationships with family and friends, a bill for accessing essential services and information. In today's world, being connected is not a luxury, it's a necessity. Data in South Africa is expensive, but for pensioners, it's extortionate. The high cost of data is a barrier that prevents them from fully participating in society. It's a barrier that isolates them from their loved ones and the world around them. But for pensioners, it's extortionate. They are forced to pay exorbitant rates for mobile data, rates that are simply unaffordable on a fixed income, rates that force them to make difficult choices every month, rates that eat into their already meager pensions, rates that leave them with little to no disposable income, rates that make it difficult to afford other essentials like food and medicine, rates that disconnect them from their loved ones, rates that make it difficult to stay in touch with family and friends, rates that isolate them from the world. These are mothers and fathers, grandmothers and grandfathers. They have spent their lives caring for others, and now they deserve to be cared for. They deserve to be connected to their families and communities. They've already paid their dues. They've worked hard, contributed to society, and raised their families. They deserve to enjoy their retirement without the stress of high data costs. But they're still being taken advantage of. Their only crime? Being old in a country that profits from their vulnerability? This is not just unfair, it's unjust. Their only crime? Being old in a country that profits from their vulnerability. This is not just unfair, it's unjust. It's a form of exploitation that targets the most vulnerable members of our society. It's time to end this digital robbery. It's time to stand up for our elderly and ensure they have affordable access to the digital world. It's time to demand fair and affordable data prices for everyone, especially our pensioners. They deserve better. We all deserve better. Champagne dreams? Data nightmares. The misplaced priorities of mobile giants. In a world where connectivity is king, one would think that mobile giants would prioritize making data accessible and affordable for everyone. But the reality is far from this ideal. Instead of focusing on bridging the digital divide, these companies seem more interested in flaunting their wealth and influence. Meanwhile, the very companies that claim to connect us are living large. Executives sit in their high-rise offices, making decisions that affect millions, all while enjoying the perks of their positions. They are far removed from the everyday struggles of the people they claim to serve. Mobile networks in South Africa throw lavish parties. These events are not just gatherings. They are extravagant displays of wealth, complete with gourmet food, expensive drinks, and high-profile guests. It's a stark contrast to the lives of their average customers. They sponsor everything from sports teams to music festivals. These sponsorships are plastered everywhere, from stadiums to concert venues, making it clear that these companies have deep pockets. But what about the people who are struggling to pay for basic data services? They spend millions on celebrity endorsements and glossy advertising campaigns. Celebrities are paid handsomely to promote these brands, appearing in ads that promise the best connectivity and the latest technology. But behind the glitz and glamour, there's a different story. Where does this money come from? It comes from the very customers who are struggling to make ends meet. Every rand spent on these extravagant expenses is a rand that could have been used to lower data costs or improve network coverage. From the pockets of ordinary South Africans, these are the people who rely on affordable data to stay connected with loved ones, to access educational resources, and to find job opportunities. Yet they are the ones who bear the brunt of these misplaced priorities. From the pensioners who are forced to choose between data and food. Imagine having to decide whether to buy groceries or to top up your data so you can stay in touch with family. This is the harsh reality for many elderly South Africans, from the students who have to sacrifice meals to afford internet access. For young people, data is not a luxury. It's a necessity for their education and future prospects. Yet they find themselves in a constant struggle to balance their limited resources. It's a slap in the face. The frustration is palpable. People are tired of being taken for granted, of seeing their hard-earned money being used for anything but their benefit. While they celebrate with champagne and caviar, millions are struggling to afford the bare minimum. The contrast couldn't be more glaring. It's a world where the privileged few enjoy the best of everything, while the majority are left to fend for themselves. It's a tale of two South Africas, one where wealth and opportunity are abundant, and another where people are fighting just to get by. This disparity is not just an economic issue, it's a moral one where data flows like water. In affluent areas, data is readily available, and people can afford to stay connected without a second thought. It's a convenience that many take for granted. The other where it's a precious commodity, rationed out bite by bite. In less privileged areas, data is a scarce resource, something to be used sparingly and with great care. Every megabyte is precious, and every connection is a lifeline. It's time for these companies to be held accountable. The public is starting to demand more from these corporations. They want transparency, fairness, and a commitment to serving the community, not just their shareholders. It's time for them to prioritize people over profits. The call for change is growing louder. It's a call for a more equitable future where everyone has the opportunity to stay connected, regardless of their financial situation. A tale of two data plans, the haves and the have-nots. In today's world, access to data is more than just a convenience. It's a necessity. Yet, the disparity in data access between different socioeconomic groups is stark and troubling. Let's talk about data disparities. The digital divide is not just a buzzword, it's a reality that affects millions of people every day. While some enjoy seamless connectivity, others struggle to stay online. A young professional in Sandton, earning a good salary, can easily afford a generous data package. This individual has the world at their fingertips, with high-speed internet enabling them to work efficiently, stay connected with loved ones, and access entertainment on demand. They can stream movies, download music, and video call their friends without a second thought. Their data plan is robust enough to handle multiple devices and high-definition content, making their digital experience smooth and enjoyable. Data is simply a part of their lives. It's integrated into their daily routine, from checking social media updates to managing finances and even controlling smart home devices, an expense that barely registers. For them, the cost of data is just another line item in their budget, easily managed and often overlooked. Now let's talk about a pensioner in Soweto. This individual has lived a life of hard work and dedication, contributing to society in countless ways. Yet, in their golden years, they face a different reality. They've worked hard their entire lives. Their hands tell a story of years of labor, and their eyes reflect the wisdom of experience. But now, they find themselves on a fixed income, with every rand carefully allocated. Now, they rely on a small, fixed income. Every rand counts. The cost of data is a significant burden, one that forces them to make tough choices between staying connected and meeting other essential needs. For them, data is a luxury they often have to forego. The ability to video call a distant relative or access important information online is not always within their reach. The digital world, which offers so much potential for connection and convenience, remains largely inaccessible to them. This isn't just about different income levels, it's about different realities. The digital divide creates a chasm between those who can participate fully in the digital age and those who are left behind. It's about a system that privileges some while punishing others. The infrastructure and pricing models favor those with higher incomes, leaving the less fortunate to navigate a world where data is scarce and expensive. It's about the fundamental right to communication being treated as a privilege. Access to information, the ability to connect with others, and the opportunity to participate in the digital economy should not be reserved for the few. This is the digital divide in South Africa, a divide that mirrors the broader inequalities in our society, affecting education, employment, and social inclusion. And it's a divide that needs to be bridged. By addressing these disparities, we can create a more inclusive digital future, where everyone has the opportunity to thrive. More than megabytes data as a lifeline for pensioners. We cannot forget what data truly represents, especially for pensioners. It's not about posting selfies or watching funny videos. It's about staying connected with their families. It's about accessing vital information. It's about combating loneliness and isolation. Imagine not being able to afford to call your children or grandchildren. Imagine being cut off from the news and current events. Imagine not being able to access online banking or government services. For many South African pensioners, this is the reality. The high cost of data is not just an inconvenience. It's a barrier to participation in modern society. It's a barrier to connection, information, and support. It's time to recognize that for South Africa's pensioners, data is not a luxury. It's a lifeline. The high cost of connection, digital austerity for South Africa's elderly. The impact of this data disparity is devastating. Pensioners are forced to severely ration their data usage. Every megabyte is precious. Every minute spent online is carefully calculated. Imagine having to choose between calling your daughter for her birthday or checking your bank balance. Imagine waiting until late at night to send an important email, hoping for a cheaper data rate. This is the reality of digital austerity. It's a reality that forces pensioners to disconnect, to isolate themselves. It's a reality that denies them the basic human right to communication. It's a reality that needs to end. It's time to stop treating data like a privilege and start treating it like the essential service it is.